I'm back on this drink again.
What do you drink? Oh, is this what's in this one?
This is the
You got one for me?
hang on.
Let me try it.
Yeah, you can take a sip. This is the one with why can't I think of the word? Peptides. You love peptides here.
Big pep guy.
Big pep guy. They used to be a dirty word, right? Peptides?
Yeah, everybody's like, what is that? Oh, this has got a bunch of good shit in it.
Yeah. Makes you feel good. No alcohol.
Collagen.
Let's see.
Saffron, turmeric.
People are starting to join here. Welcome on, everybody. We are live. Woo, woo, woo. We've got the brand new setup. I got to put this in focus mode. I'm all over the place because we literally just got this finally set up, and yeah, I'm feeling good about it. How are you feeling about it?
It looks phenomenal.
I mean,
like for real.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah. You kind of have the yellowish orange behind you. I got the blue behind me.
Goes with my outfit a little
bit. It
does,
yeah. Know? I kind of was thinking, I'm like, man, we might have to start coordinating outfits and assigning the lights. But we're going to get some more stuff up here. This is just week one, folks, in regards to our new studio setup. And I'm pumped about it. I mean, this just looks good. Feels good.
And I'm not blind.
Yeah.
I don't feel blind
now,
sitting in here. I don't got to wear sunglasses.
If you end up wearing sunglasses, you won't see like 5 million lights on your eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand just how fucking bright it was in here.
It was pretty damn bright. We had about 1 million lights. Now everything is in the right positions. Everything's set up properly. And yeah, we are good to go, folks.
Come on.
Woo! I can't wait for tonight's episode. This is going to be a blast. So I got to take a sip of this little thing. It's kind of tradition, unlike any other. Oh, that's good.
That was great.
Oh, that's good. And then little Vice Golf, folks. Make sure to get yourself some Vice Golf golf balls. It's going to be a phenomenal night.
They don't make a bad ball.
No, they don't. I love the Pro Plus, yeah. And now I'm going to end up posting the link as I am an ambassador now of the game of Vice Golf.
Are you?
Yeah.
Ooh,
and just became official sponsored athlete part 2. So yeah, Golf Ball City. Here we go.
The sleeves right on my shirt, dude. It's like this one always chills down. This one always, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You're going to have to start getting them fitted like Tiger.
I mean, it's weird, dude. Anyways.
Remember Tiger used to have the one sleeve that was like extra long?
I don't. Is that real?
Because he would always pull it up.
Oh, because he yanked on it.
Yeah. So I think his left arm was always bigger or longer, I should say. No comments yet. No comments yet. Everybody's a little bit shell-shocked.
Thrown off, dude.
Yeah, they're like, wait, what podcast did we just join the live recording for?
It looks weird, right? I'll tell you what shell-shocked is my fucking guts, dude. I stopped, so I made it into Quick Trip for a little snack because I didn't have any dinner. And I bought what ended up being a cold buffalo chicken bite, spicy buffalo chicken bite, which I ate anyways. And then corn dog.
You are special when it comes to
just special.
Food.
Just special, I think. Just all around in a lot of ways.
All around a special guy. All right, let's get this episode started. Yeah, hang on. One more sip. Butsy's just absolutely floored. This is his first time seeing the new studio.
Wow.
And it's not even finished. I mean, this is just week one of this. I think the audience is going to get a kick. I think all of you guys are going to get a kick out of seeing the evolution of this studio over the coming weeks. Because we've got a lot of good stuff that's coming.
We do. God, these lights, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a porno studio for a fly.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Porno studio for a fly. Yeah, I could.
Know how they feel. Understand why they want to fly towards them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive right in.
What kind of timepiece are we wearing here, Butsy? So Kyle wants to know.
This one. This is another. This is Jacob & Co. Just kidding. No, this is another Invicta little.
I like that. That's sharp.
It's like a poor man's Richard Mille. Sort of look to it. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Little wrist candy here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It fits your wrist well.
It does, man.
Got
it
big
does.
forearms.
Yeah, it's like a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Very nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
What are you
my
wearing?
pleasure.
You got the...
I just got the Apple Ultra 2 on with the titanium band.
It's a different band than you had last
Yeah,
time.
titanium
Very
band.
nice.
You know, I used to be such a big watch guy. I had a bunch of Rolexes, Breitlings, and so forth.
Yeah.
And I've really just toned it down to where I wear my Apple Watch every single day. So I'm like, why am I investing into these? And I ended up selling a bunch of them.
Are you tracking your heart rate and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, I saw the new one. I don't want to get the new one. You know why?
Why?
Because it tells you if you have sleep apnea.
Oh, no, I have that set up now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
It's like that was like an update.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So the Apple Ultra 2 got that update. So, yeah.
I can't see the
Pretty
comments.
sweet. I can't either.
Fucking
That's the
blind.
only issue right now.
Can you make those bigger?
Here we go. We're just going to put them up. Oh, that one we already saw. We're going to go to hello, gents. Loving the colors. Thank you. We appreciate it. We got the new studio, and we are pumped about this. Okay, we missed that one with the Jacob & Co., but here we go. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Tonight, we've got Butsy with us, and we've got an awesome episode for all of you. First off, we're going to go back to the best from Pro Golf last week. We're going to go over all those recaps. So we've got the BMW PGA Championship recap. We've got the LIV Golf Team Championship recap. And then we've got the Swanie style segment right in the middle, right in the heart of the episode today. And then we've got a special announcement as we have a new tour insider that is going to be joining the pod on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I'm excited to announce
We won't
this.
say his name yet, right? We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise.
Surprise.
Surprise. And then we've got the preview of the President's Cup. So our tour insider is going to go over some of the analysis with us as well during that segment, and that's going to wrap up the show. So without further ado, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Swannies Golf. Folks, go to swannies.co. Utilize promo code PullHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order at swannies.co. I'm rocking their gear tonight. I've got actually the Tiger shirt underneath. It's like black on black. It's sick. This is
nice.
just a phenomenal material. I got this, and they still sell this.
Is that saffron?
This is the quarter zip, little athletic gear, and really, really comfortable. So really comfortable in studio, really comfortable on the golf course. Can get you through some of those nipply type of weather moments.
I'll tell you what, man. I've been wearing golf clothes to bed lately.
Oh yeah, that'll stink up your mattress real quick.
Not like after. No, like I put them on.
Yeah, they're comfy,
They're,
right?
they're more comfortable than even like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, actually. I have slept in the Swannies clothing a lot. I'm not a
You know what I'm
lie.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a show, for instance.
Yeah.
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 I definitely
like Drake
do.
or what do you mean?
Yeah, you know, P. Diddy. Yeah. What's going on with all of that?
Let's
Yeah. Should we stay away from that topic?
no, dude. Let's wait till we get lubed up to talk
Okay.
about that.
Love that. I mean, it's something we got to talk about, right? It's affecting the golf world massively.
Oh man. Is it?
No,
Not really.
not really, but we'll get into it as we get to the end of the episode, probably. But let's start out. And by the way, folks, your boy just became a Vice Golf ambassador. So, folks, I will drop the promo link in the show description this week. So you can get a percentage off on all of your Vice Golf stuff as well. So I play the Vice Pro Plus. Absolutely love that golf ball.
Very good.
That's all the promos that we got for now.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Not bad, right? Now, let's get into the best from Pro Golf last week. We've got the BMW PGA Championship that took place over at Wentworth. And my question to you, Butsy, as we were talking about this before we came on air, does Rory McIlroy have the worst luck ever?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he does.
It's ridiculous because it's not like he lost this golf tournament. He got beat, and it was a bad beat too.
Yeah.
when Billy Horschel drops an eagle on you.
I just watched it again on the way over. Well, I wasn't driving and watching it. I listened to it on the way over. Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty gnarly. Anybody else besides Horschel too? My God.
Oh man,
slammed it home. He played good though.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't like fuck
solid.
off and coming down the stretch. He didn't shit on himself and miss a 3-footer or anything like that. So might be seeing, he might be climbing out of the shit pit.
I'm going to tell you right now, when he made the switch back to his caddy, Micah Fugit, he absolutely turned into a different player. And
Micah what?
Micah Fugit. Yeah, you got to go Fugit.
Is that his last name?
Yeah, F-U-G-I-T-T.
All right. Micah Fugit.
Fugit.
All right.
Yeah, good old Micah. Micah loves a good martini.
Does he?
Loves the olives in there. When he was on the pod, because he's a past guest, he had the good old vodka martinis with some olives in there. I don't know. I should have asked him at the time, does he love blue cheese olives? Because I like a martini with blue cheese olives.
I love a blue cheese olive. I like a Diet Coke with a blue cheese olive. I don't care what the fuck it's in. I love blue cheese olives. Anyways, I haven't had a blue cheese olive in a long time.
Now you're going to go immediately after the podcast, probably get yourself
Can you imagine the atomic weapon that will form after that? Mix that with a little gas station buffalo chicken bite.
You hate to see
some blue cheese olives.
You hate to see it.
Fire no.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Wow.
So Billy Horschel, I mean, and here's the crazy thing too about Billy Horschel is that Rory McIlroy hit a gem in the second playoff hole for a second shot on the par 5.
Yeah.
Hit a great shot. Billy Horschel answered.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people would have folded right there. And then Rory misses his putt, not by a lot. And then Billy Horschel drops that 30-plus footer. And it's just like, Rory's just sitting there going, what the fuck do I have to do, man?
Would you have taken 20-1 odds on 100 that Billy's going to make that putt before he hit it?
Weird? I was watching it live.
Are you going to tell me you were feeling it?
I was kind of like, he's going to make this. Like,
All
he
right.
kind of stepped in, and you just kind of had that hunch that Billy Horschel is probably going to make that putt. I was floored that he did, but at the same time, it's just like, damn, Billy.
He just doesn't. He doesn't resonate with me as being like
a clutch player.
Exactly. Wow, we're finishing each other's sentences right now. I feel like, Tom Cruise or something. It's wild.
But Rory McIlroy made an eagle on 17 in order to get into the playoff. He kind of botched the par 5 a little bit, the 18th in regulation. You can't even go back and watch a highlight of it because he ended up hitting his second shot short in the rough, ends up pitching up and had about a 16.8 feet.
Okay.
And ends up missing that one, tapping in for the par in order to go into the playoff. Billy Horschel birdied the last 2 holes in order to get into the playoff.
Yeah.
And then you've got my guy, Aaron Rye, who was my pick last week. And he went off on the front 9. Absolutely off on the front 9. Shot 5 under 30 and ends up taking the lead. But Aaron Rye still is learning how to perform under pressure and how to win golf tournaments. I think when Aaron Rye figures this out, we're going to see him winning quite a few tournaments.
I don't disagree with that at all. His ball striking, and all those guys are, but it's fucking elite.
Yeah.
Like, he put on an absolute display. Like I said,
And then kudos to Aaron Rye because he was right there. Ends up T4 at minus 17. I think he was at minus 17. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know he finished T4, but he was right there, and he went for it on 18. He went for it in 2.
Where did he hit his second one?
In the water.
So there you go.
And that ended his day right there for trying to win the golf tournament. But at least he gave it a go.
Could have been
like,
different.
He didn't try to lay up.
No, he didn't bitch out.
That he did not. And then the one guy that we are not talking about is, and I completely just forgot his name. It's the guy who was in the Open Championship. He was in the playoff.
Not Lawrence.
I think it's Lawrence Thurston, isn't it? Help us out here, Trot Golfer.
Is it Lawrence?
It's Lawrence something.
He was in he was in the bunker,
Thurston,
right?
Right?
And
Thurston? Oh, it's Thriston Lawrence. Is that it?
That's
not it.
Could be, but
I think it is.
Some of these guys' names.
I think it's Thriston because it's Thris.
Little help.
Yeah, little help would go a long way.
Little help from the audience. Back it up.
Oh, Trot Golfer said that's it.
That's it.
Thriston Lawrence.
All right.
So there we go. Now, he is underrated. And I've seen him play over on the DP World Tour. When I have flicked through the channels, I've seen him win golf tournaments. And he went the Open Championship. He did not go away. He didn't really go away in this one either. But in the first playoff hole, when you're up against Billy Horschel and Rory McIlroy, things did not go well for him. So there you have it. He shit himself, if you can't tell by our.
As a lot of people would.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hate the guy.
But I wanted to make sure we said his name out there, gets that out there because the South African is pretty dang good.
He deserves the cred.
Yeah, he really does.
Shove.
All right. Moving into our next topic, which is LIV Golf, the team championship that took place in Dallas. And here's the thing. Last week, we didn't even cover this really because I didn't realize that it was happening a week later.
I didn't either. Yeah, and I looked at the show notes and I was like, huh? Even after the fact.
The schedule has thrown me off this year more so than in the prior two seasons, but I ended up catching the entire thing. And because I love the team match play aspect, so I was really interested in Friday, Saturday. But for the final, they switched to stroke play. Now, with that...
What's your thought on that?
I hate it.
Yeah?
I hate it. And the one thing that I will say, because I was trashing it on Twitter and so forth, it was better than I expected just because everybody was really close in terms of their teams and coming down the final stretch. There was actually a tiny bit of drama around it. Like, you didn't know who could possibly win because everybody was right there. So that was kind of cool. But if it was match play and, you got DJ going up against Cam Smith in a final or something along those lines, it would have been absolutely sweet. The one thing, and I'm going to jump around here for just a second because I completely forgot to start this entire segment off with the fact that Jon Rahm,
I was just gonna
miss the entire weekend with flu-like symptoms.
I was like, "Are you getting to this later?"
Yeah, no, we need to get into it.
The guy that won that fucking Super Bowl ring didn't even play.
Had flu-like symptoms. And my question to you: if this was the Ryder Cup, does Jon Rahm sit out?
I don't know.
And I like Jon Rahm.
I don't know what said flu-like symptoms really means. I don't know if there was a personal thing going on. I don't know if he was getting that weird fucking toe chopped off. Like, it's tough to say, If the toe was giving him hell, who knows? Maybe he really couldn't play. But if it was something minimal, yeah, maybe. Yeah, he doesn't miss the Ryder Cup probably.
No. There's no chance in hell.
He's all right.
He's missing the Ryder
Cup.
Cup.
I already got the fucking ring. Like, this is bullshit. Yeah.
That was what was running through my head is he's like, oh, I'm not feeling well. I'm just going to call it a day on this one.
I already did my part.
Yeah. He already had his year. John Catlin fills in for him and did a pretty damn good job as they made it to the final and they were leading early on in that final championship stroke play round.
Yeah.
But I can't stand the stroke play side to it with the teams, especially for a team championship. I get it. You want to see all four players play? Well, guess what? Have all four players play individual match play against the other.
For sure.
The first 2 days, I love how they have the match play set up, and it adds in a little bit of strategy to where the third group is 2 players on each side, and they're playing alternate shot, which me and you are not big alternate shot guys.
I hate alternate shot. I hate it.
I hate it too.
I hate being a part of it. I don't
like being a part of it.
No, it's terrible.
But it was interesting because this year it wasn't like, I'm putting the best player against the best player. Like, there was some strategy involved. Mm-hmm. Cam Smith ended up playing in the alternate shot with, I forget who, Matt Jones.
Okay.
So you got that going for it. Now, as I keep tapping that on accident and bringing up Trot Golfer's comment, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, was that significant? Okay. What-
No. So my whole thing is I would love to see a change to the format. Now, you sent me a link that the players were talking about this as well.
Yeah, Phil kind of, came out and moonlighted a little bit, right? He kind of, and like that, I think that article spoke to this, right? Phil doesn't speak publicly without intention, and he definitely dropped some breadcrumbs, I think,
Yeah.
in regards to what's in store for LIV going forward.
The future.
The future.
The future of LIV is match play.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious is that the LIV lovers on Twitter were going nuts. They're like, absolutely not. The individuals are still going to be playing stroke play. There's no way they're going to allow this. And it's like, listen, guys, it's not going to be every event,
No, but
there's going to be more team match play.
yeah, we talked about this one of the first pods we did together. We were covering LIV, and when you grow up like in you're part of the team environment. We'll just kind of reiterate that, but I'd rather watch match play out there.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
The amount of players in the field and like building that camaraderie up and building up who's on a team and like what their stats are. Yeah, kind of trying to figure out like, all right, well, you got it going on, but then, well, this guy's moving up the leaderboard individually, but there's really only 20 guys playing, so who gives a fuck? Like, I don't know.
spot
I
on.
don't know.
Spot on.
Yeah.
The format change that I'd also like to see changed is for the team championship, you shouldn't just automatically get in.
What do you mean?
So there's a regular season, like there's a points tally to the entire regular season, but yet they include every single team into the team championship. I don't think that's right.
No, it should be elite. Like it should be like a World Series.
And we almost had an issue where the Ironheads almost won. They were in last place coming into the team championship. Then you had the Four Aces who had a bad year, and they were in 10th. I would love to see it to where it's just the top 8 teams that are competing in the team championship. And here's why. Because it's 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So you would go from on Friday, you would have 8 teams, and they would play match play head to head. Then on Saturday, that brings it down to 4 teams. So you got your semifinals there. And
Okay.
those 4 teams play, and then you got the final 2 on Sunday. that
Bracket,
go
like
head
it-
to head.
yeah, whittle it down.
It's a true bracket.
A real bracket. Yeah.
a real bracket.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I was saying about the podcast studio with the green screen. I'm like, I'm done with the green screen. We're adults.
You did say
It's
that.
like we're done with just having everybody playing a team championship.
Yeah.
The regular season is going to matter. You have to finish in the top 8, and we're actually going to do a real fucking bracket.
What an analogy to relate it to the green screen.
Yeah.
I like what you did there. The green screen was a thing for you.
It really was.
This
I've-
green screen was really bothering you.
I've been using a green screen for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So when finally we had the studio, I'm like, and we're using a green screen. It was just temporary.
Yeah.
Just because we're like, okay, what are we going to do with building out the backdrop and everything? And this is the start. So,
Green screens are for little Twitch noobs that play video games.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not for elite podcasters. Just saying.
Oh gosh.
Hit that like beep. Come on, hit the motherfucking like. Mm.
Thanks, Track Golfer.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
The support is unwavering.
Absolutely love that. Hit the like, folks. Subscribe to the podcast. You're not going to be disappointed, I'll tell you that much. Because we bring it each and every week. Yeah. Oh, gosh. All right. Keeping it moving, keeping it grooving. We got the Swanie Style segment before we've got our big announcement. So the Swanie Style segment this week, it's all based off of LIV Golf Team Championship.
Okay.
Pants versus shorts.
Ah.
Should both be allowed, or should they pick a lane?
Whatever you want to wear. Yeah, whatever the fuck you want.
See, you're a man of the people. I
Who
love
cares?
that about you.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you can wear like, and this is a thing now. You can go to a restaurant, a really high end restaurant, with a t-shirt on. It's official that that's okay now.
In Arizona.
No,
I don't know if you could do that in New York City.
maybe because it's too cold. I don't know. I think
It's never too cold for you. You got Nordic blood.
I do Nordic blood and the fucking, this shit's like 18 inches thick at any point on the body. Okay. No, yeah. No, literally. I would have survived the Titanic going down.
He really
for
would.
sure. Probably the only one.
No doubt.
Yeah.
He would
People
float
would have been on my
right to the
back,
top.
and I would have taken a breath, come back up, from my blowhole. Anyways, we're getting way off track here.
I just
I'm
literally pictured a whale.
I'm fine with shorts or pants.
Do you think it's weird looking at it though and seeing some players with shorts, some players with pants?
Yeah. I mean, mentally it kind of changes the prestige, the look of the prestige of what they're trying to do. Like, it's a whole vibe, right?
That's where I would be like, I kind of like the idea of just going all shorts. I just have everybody playing shorts.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think some of the dudes that still rock pants just have, like, it was always a way for them to hide the fact that they have weird looking tiny ass legs, and they still wear it because of that. Not
That's
because
actually a really good point.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's why.
They got little chicken legs. They miss leg day.
Oh my God! You see these guys at the gym too, right? They always have the trainer pants on. Yeah.
You know what though? Phil Mickelson, as soon as he was allowed to wear shorts, immediately was a shorts
Of
guy.
course, he's gonna show off those.
He's got
fucking
calves of steel.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a couple of chimp brains
By the
hanging
way,
off of his leg.
Talking about Phil Mickelson, this wasn't even in the notes, but did you see his new haircut?
No,
Since we're on the style segment.
he still has hair.
Oh, dude, this one's bad. This one's bad.
What is
He's
it?
got it like he tried to go like trendy
Yeah.
and like shave the sides, keep it long, and
Phil.
and it just looks like he took off his hat and they got a shot of him, and it looks like he is missing hair from like up here in this section, and then bangs after the missed hair in the middle, and then it's just it's a rough look. Folks, look it up if you have not
gotta
seen
give,
this yet.
Maybe I need to see this because I was gonna say I got to give Phil the credit that he's due. He has managed to be kind of still cool looking as he's gotten older. I think he's over the aviators though now, and he's rocking like the full Stensons. He's like 10 years behind on trying to look like a dirt biker out there. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So that solves that. Now, with the shorts, it does bring in another element as well, moving away from Phil Mickelson, of course.
Please move away from him.
What socks are cool versus not so cool is the little piece here that I want you to go over. So no-show socks.
I'm a no-show guy, personally.
Same.
I grew up in that era. I think golf shoes, especially when you're wearing shorts, and you're into any type of a saddle shoe,
Oh, yeah.
right? They look so stupid to me when you look like a 70s basketball player out there. Okay, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out here with the calf socks. Again, I don't know. It's kind of what your legs look like and how you're built. Tall guys, I think, can pull off the calf socks.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Black or white socks?
Black.
Yeah, same.
Gotta go black.
I grew up with the Fab Five, man.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Michigan, black socks. You've got the baggy shorts. I mean, that team of Chris Webber, Jimmy King, Jalen Rose, and Jalen Howard. That was the Fab Five at Michigan, all the freshmen.
Black socks.
Yeah, they changed the game, man. They've changed the game. So I'm a black socks guy. Now, with the calf socks, you said looks good on certain people. So would you say some calf socks are cool, some are not cool?
It's appropriate for the right build and the right look. Guys that wear a floppy build, short build rope hat that have that kind of, I don't know how to call it, like punk look on the golf course, calf socks are okay. And I think you need to be over 6'1" to rock them too. Short dudes look really fucking weird in them.
Interesting.
I think.
Yeah. No, as you're describing it, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know?
Yeah. Now, ankle socks.
Those should just be banned from everything, especially white ones. Like, here, let me go out and just show off all the fucking dirt. At least when it gets on your leg, your shoe still pops and you can't tell. You can wipe that shit off in the shower later. Ankle socks are terrible. They make golf shoes look like a little boot.
I want to go back to calf socks here real quick.
Sure.
Because I was a big anti-calf sock guy when LIV Golf first came out, and they're wearing shorts, and some of the English guys were wearing those white calf socks, and I'm like, they look like my grandfather out there. I have shifted my opinion a bit. Some of the guys out there that do it look pretty good.
Who? Don't say Poulter.
No,
Because he's the one that comes to mind. Looks terrible.
it's funny. Another one that looks terrible is Lee Westwood when he does it.
Oh, Lee loves wood. God.
You know, I could go over the guys that don't look good in them. I don't know if I could list a guy that I sat there and I'm like, oh, that looks good.
Well, you
on
just
them.
said your opinion
my
changed.
opinion is shifting because I have seen some people that have that, like, I'll glance, I'll be like, oh, that's not bad.
Do you think there's guys out there that are just total scuzz and go no sock?
What's your opinion on no sock?
You're a disgusting human.
Horrible person.
You're disgusting.
You have no respect for anybody else in the world.
No, and you stink
Yep.
all the time. Not just your
100%.
feet, your whole body. Anyways.
We got a big announcement.
Oh.
Big announcement right now. Now, before we bring him on, this is our new tour insider. This guy has played on the PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry, current Korn Ferry player, if I must say, right?
Yeah, believe so. As far as I know.
As far as I know. We're going to find out here in a second.
Yeah.
Going to bring him on here in just a second. And let's go ahead and do so. If I can find my way over there. Folks, we're still getting used to the new set here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he is. Look at him
There he
smoking a
is.
fucking stove.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
God.
I wonder if we can do person in person here.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
wow, that's fantastic stuff.
How we doing,
I
boys?
love that. Doing great, folks. We got Brent Grant here.
Brent Grant in the house.
Woo. It's fantastic to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. I mean, let's start off, first of all. I'm almost stumbling for words here. I'm so excited. That rarely happens.
It
Now,
was the cigar, huh?
it really was. You came in blowing that cigar, and I'm like, holy shit. This is going to work out real good. Real good. But, Brent, for our audience members that might not be familiar with you, why don't you give us a little bit of your background and your journey and actually a little bit of an update on your playing status right now?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, again, thanks for having me. But so I started off in Hawaii about 10, 12 years ago or so, and then made it to the Korn Ferry Tour in, I think, Q School 2019.
Back that up. Now tell people he didn't. If I recall, he didn't like grow up playing junior golf at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2 junior golf events ever, and some mixed in some high school events and some local Hawaii amateur events, and before college. And then in college, I played 2 individual events at D1, and then I think I played 10 or 11 at the D2 level, and then went back to work for about a year, and then decided to turn pro and made it through Q School after my 3rd run, and stayed on the Korn Ferry Tour through the COVID seasons, plural, and then made it to the PGA Tour in 2022. Fell off the PGA Tour in this last year, and then unfortunately had some things go on and wasn't able to get it done this year, but we are currently going back to Q School. So kind of a big up and down, but fortunately the game is probably the best it's ever been. It's just we're waiting to see the results. So
How old are you, Brent?
28.
Yeah.
28. Got a lot of time.
Got some time.
Got a lot of time.
We got some time.
Guys don't peak until they're 35.
But what's cool is, and that's, I think, what average age of a tour rookie is still like 33 or 4 or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know that.
It's in the 30s.
It's a pretty good stat there.
God, where was I going with this? I just lost
That's a great question.
Fuck, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, so you got
sober.
to play an entire season on the PGA Tour, though, and
I did.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I looked at your stats from your season on the PGA Tour, and it's got to be pretty disheartening to have that many top 20s, a top 10, and yet lose your card.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it,
He's like, yeah.
what it ends up being is yeah, Butsy knows. You know, it was one of those things, and you guys talked about it. I think 2 episodes ago, you guys were talking about elite ball strikers that struggle with putting, and that's one of the things that has finally come around. And Butsy and I have talked about it for probably 5 years now, and it was one of those things that I didn't want to work on because I felt like, you know, it'll be there when I need it, and unfortunately, it wasn't. So, it was one of those things that obviously looking back, you can change a lot of things, but pretty fortunate to be able to actually be able to putt now. The problem is again, it's about getting it done on the weekend, and that's not something we did this year. But we're looking forward to moving forward and just moving forward.
We are looking
and
forward.
We are looking forward.
we're in the
being
present,
ahead
in the
or
now,
forward.
right now.
And move forward.
So, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting fall, and we will see what happens. But
Dude,
we're
going to be a part of this journey with you.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
we're gonna
I'm
be
on-
there
I'm on
every
it.
step of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
on
week
it
in
now.
and week out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so folks, Brent has committed to being here on a weekly basis, throwing you live on the spot here. But Butsy mentioned that, we are going to have a segment for you each and every week.
Yeah.
And that is where we are absolutely stoked to have you be a part of this show.
We're going to
Well,
dig
thank you,
into
Matt. Appreciate it.
what he knows. We're going to dig into what he knows. There may be some things that he doesn't want to address, doesn't want to talk about. People
not
that
really.
doesn't want to out. Not really.
See, this is why it's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had Bobby Brown, the caddy, on the podcast, I mean, he was a guy that loved to talk shit. So he was just perfect because he said a lot of stuff that he probably shouldn't. So this is a great fit. It's an unfiltered golf podcast. And again, we're grateful to have you be a part of this. You're kind of our... who is it on the Pat McAfee show who's always tuning in remotely?
Yeah, I got to watch that. I don't know.
It's the Hawk, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk. Yeah,
AJ Hawk.
yeah. But
is always coming
I
in.
will be able to come in the studio, every now and
Absolutely.
then, and who knows what's going to happen? I might move back to Phoenix and do some stuff.
Well, that would be
So
dope.
we'll see.
That would be dope. And hopefully that moves
Definitely
into
wouldn't mind
our
it.
next studio next year, where we've got a full-on, I mean, even bigger than this studio. That's what we're looking at right now. So hopefully have some seats in there for a whole crew of us talking golf.
I mean,
I'm in.
sky's the limit, brother. Sky's the limit.
I know, we're going all in.
I'm tired.
We're
I'm
going
tired
all
of all
in.
these. I'm tired of all these kind of half-assed shows that aren't real people. So let's make it a real
100%.
thing.
Yeah.
You are a great fit already.
Yeah.
I see it.
No, he gets it. He gets
Butsy
it.
vouched for you, and I will say you are hitting the nail on the head with every single comment. My smile couldn't be bigger right now.
We talked about this before. We may never receive a PGA Tour media credential.
Yes, you will. I'll make sure of it.
30 seconds into any one of these episodes, no, I can't do that. No, I can't say that. No,
Can't say that.
Can't do that. You can't say that.
Well, that's where I think no laying up. A lot of people have gotten pissed off with them, especially on Twitter and so forth, because they've shifted. Ever since they became tight partners with the PGA Tour, they have become pretty tight-lipped on a bunch of stuff. And then they trash LIV Golf for a while, and now they've kind of come back.
Is
It's
that
like, I
is
kinda
that
follow the
Colt,
trends.
right? Is
No,
that Colt
so-
knows?
Colt's on the Subpar podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Colt also, with their attachment to the PGA Tour as well, and with Colt doing a lot of the commentary for PGA Tour Live and so forth, he's sorry that sound.
Such a dork.
I love it.
I almost
such a
didn't
dork.
get a bag, but I was like, no, it's gonna bother the fuck. I was gonna
It
get
caught me
snacks,
mid-sentence.
too.
I don't even know what the hell I was talking about.
Just
Oh,
missing
Colt-
the
Colt-
sunflower seeds. So the no laying up podcast. I mean, you guys saw it at the Creator Classic. I think I texted Butsy like immediately 'cause I didn't even know what was happening. But it was kind of hollow. You look at it, and obviously Wesley Bryan kind of head up. The Bryan Bros Golf kind of head up that whole deal. But at the end of the day, it's you get only so far with the PGA Tour when it comes to outside of the golf, and it's run by people that are in the corporate structure their entire lives, and
Yeah.
they're not people that are going to be able to have a frank, it is basically a PC farm, and so I can't. It is what it
That's
is. I mean,
well
there's not
said.
really anything you could do about that.
Well,
But I
welcome
mean,
to
I've
our world now, Brent.
well,
That's exactly.
fortunately, I have nothing to lose. So I'm, I'll even say this before we get into it. Like if Live Golf were to give me a call, I'd happily go play. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Love that. And we would love to see you go play on that.
Absolutely. And there's some folks
No
in the
problem.
audience out there that would probably love to speak to that as well. So
We've been talking about that for the past couple of weeks.
yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the
love
Live
that.
Golf. Yeah, it's
we
It's-
made mention of, and I think I said there's a lot of players that would still love the opportunity to go over to Live, and I think that's not what people think, and I think that's false.
you're right. I mean, I think that even some of the top guys that have made the move for hundreds of millions of dollars probably look back and realize that there was probably more things going on than what was in the contract. And I mean, I won't out those guys because it's personal conversations, but
Sure.
at the end of the day, it's they're long-term contracts. They are, they own you. It's not, you don't have an opportunity to break away if you want to, but at the same time, it's a lot of money, and you're traveling to some pretty cool places, and you get access to things that normal golfers don't get access to. So if it's legacy that you're looking for, obviously, as of right now, there's only one guy that could say that he's building his legacy on the Live Tour, and that's Bryson, with winning the U.S. Open, and I'm sorry, as well as Brooks with the PGA win. But other than that, there's not really anything else going on as far as building a legacy outside of making a shitload of money and being able to do what you want with it. So
I would have taken it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and Bryson,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just read something about them. I mean, he really has turned into, like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's
An
like
ambassador?
the official. He's like the head ambassador of
Mm-hmm.
changing how people consume golf now, and what he's
Yep.
done with YouTube and everything
He's
else.
built-
Like,
yeah.
that's all. That whole landscape's changing now. You got more
He's also
people
building
watching.
junior academies as well.
It's the same reason that
Which
guys
is
that
incredible.
shoot 112 can be more popular than active tour players because of a YouTube channel now. It's
And
crazy.
make way more money.
Yeah.
Valid. Valid.
Yeah. Good
But
shit.
let's get on to the real stuff here. What do we got? The President's Cup, I
We
think.
got
Is that
the
this week?
President's Cup.
President-
And
You
that
wouldn't be
is
able to
this
tell,
week.
right? That's not really out there unless you're plugged into golf. But it's
is
the
true.
PGA Tour's Ryder Cup is essentially what it is. So they own
That
it.
it is. And no Live Golf guys. I mean, that's one of the things that they're still standing by. No Live golfers. But did you hear that for the Ryder Cup next year? Now, Keegan Bradley said he was going to pick the best players no matter what. Live Golf, PGA Tour, whatever. So the PGA kind of got forced by him in order to come out and say, and I think they wanted to get ahead of it after his comments around that. But they have officially announced that Live golfers are eligible now for the Ryder Cup. Does that make you excited as just a golf fan?
That's a great question. I think that ultimately what it comes down to is can we as Americans get behind the idea that we're always the favorite somehow, and yet we routinely get our ass kicked? And
That's valid.
the places that it kind of comes down to is, well, there's the European side, and they pick golf courses that are super tight, thick rough, and it puts a premium on driving and wedges and short game and so on. And then we pick golf courses where you can spray it a million miles either direction, and there's rolls and all these other places, and then the European Tour players have no chance. So Bethpage Black is going to be a place that, oh man, it's
Is
a
it
tough
an
golf course.
equalizer?
I think it depends on who they pick. We're a year away from it. The European Tour doesn't seem to be producing guys that are high level, so they're going to have to pick from certain Live players. Don't know how that's going to go. The PGA Tour clearly has a deeper talent well, but at the same time, there's still a lot of expectation and a lot of ego that the U.S. team can't seem to get over. So hopefully Keegan does a good job of quieting and all that down, and as a younger guy and a guy that's still playing at a super high level, he'll be able to click in better than some of the older guys have. But as a golf fan, I just want to see the best players, and I have never cared what tour you're on or whose banner you're loyal to.
I'm in
horseshit.
100%
Just go
agreement.
play.
I want to see Brooks. I want to see Bryson in the Ryder Cup. I especially want to see Bryson.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
Bryson, the last time he played in the Ryder Cup was phenomenal. What was that, at Whistling Straits? Am
Deserves
I
to be
right
there.
on that?
Yeah.
Now,
Oh God. Sorry.
Me smoking a cigar, him burping out. I mean, what do we got going on here,
he's
Matt?
got Diet Pepsi.
Well,
I mean, this is,
you guys didn't
folks,
see that
he's
happen.
He's got some chew.
We're testing out a product here.
Are we
don't-
product dropping right now, Butsy? Is that what
No,
we're doing?
I'm not gonna mention it, but I will say it's not out till November, and that's because these pouches need to be improved. And that one just broke open all up in my mouth and almost puked
gosh.
on
Wow.
the feed here.
Wow.
So-
You would have had no idea. He kept it together.
You see me-
Outside of the massive burp that was from the Diet Pepsi. And by the way, who drinks Diet Pepsi? Psychopaths.
Fucking love Diet Pepsi, especially a wild cherry variety. Oh my
What
God.
the fuck? What the fuck are we doing
Oh
here?
God.
We're
It is
promoting
weird, right?
promoting diabetes. That's what we're promoting.
Well, hopefully, you know.
Love
Oh,
some
man.
diabetes. Now,
Depending on your government conspiracy theories.
right?
We'll go right
Now,
back in for another.
Let's go over for the audience members that are newer to the game of golf and so forth, because we do get quite a few of them as well. They're like, wow, I've become interested because you guys are hilarious around the game of golf. So let's start off. The President's Cup is the United States and basically everybody that is not allowed to play in the Ryder Cup. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Then we've got U.S. team captain is Jim Furyk, which good old Jimmy Furyk. I don't know what to say about Jimmy.
Love him.
But,
I love Jim. He's great.
Yeah, great guy. I mean,
Phenomenal.
You used to see him at, when he was playing at the Masters, his wife would be in the net jets or wheels up tents and
of
just
course.
having a ball. Great woman. Now, that being said, we've got the U.S. team players. And Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Patrick Cantlay, Sahith Theegala, Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon, Russell Henley, and Max Homa. And then on the international side, and we'll get to some analysis here in a second, but on the international side, we got the team captain, Mike Weir, the Canadian, and obviously
Love
it's
Mike.
happening in Canada this year. And that's very fitting for having Mike Weir as a captain. Now, the international players, Hideki Matsuyama.
Matsuyama.
There we go. Got
Number
that.
one player in the world.
Matsuyama.
Sungjae Im. Wrong win caddy. So we've got Adam Scott.
Son of a bitch.
We got Tom Kim. Jason Day. Christian Buzaden-Hout. Corey
player.
Connors, a good old Canadian. Mackenzie Hughes, another Canadian. Siwoo Kim. Players champ, bro. That's what his line is. I'm player champ, bro.
Absolutely.
So, he would
Prayer
use that
champ.
every
Prayer champ.
yeah, prayer champ, bro.
The prayers train.
Every time that he would ever have a shot to where his caddy would disagree with him, it was always I player champ, bro.
He reminds
I
me.
know. I know
of,
personally a guy that had that said to him.
He reminds me of Kim Jong Un from Team America.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God. Well, here's the
America.
thing. America. Fuck yeah. Now
We're just missing like the Joe Rogan, like the bong, the eagle bong that they don't use anymore.
we need
What we're
that.
missing.
We need that. We might have to make one ourselves.
You could start.
Just can't play the
voting.
music though because of certain rules and regulations.
Siwoo has really taken off since Manny Villegas went on his back. Manny Villegas went in, so Camillo's brother became his caddy for the President's Cup. The last President's Cup 2 years ago has been on his bag ever since.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, great dude.
Okay.
Had him on
Super
the
nice
pod.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
had him
super
on
nice guy.
after he had some stories about the President's Cup, the last one with Siwoo Kim, shushing the crowd and everything. He got pretty animated on the podcast. Good dude, Manny Villegas. So giving him a little shout out. Then we got Minwoo Lee. Let him cook.
Is he ever going to live that tagline down?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants to.
How is
He
he
really
not
embraces it.
Like a Tupper, like a sponsor where he's cooking.
Because Lululemon is, or what is
Yeah.
What is he wearing?
No,
Is
he's
it
the
Lulu now?
Lululemon. Yeah.
Lululemon.
Iron
You know,
Chef or like
pay him enough.
something.
You know, for the wedge.
They give him a lot. Yeah. At the Open, the Phoenix Open, they paid for like 500 chef guys just to be out there with chef hats on and says let them cook.
Oh,
So yeah,
know
Lululemon's
that.
doing right by him.
How did
They
he
really
play
are.
this year? Did he play good this year?
He's been okay. I mean, he's had moments. So in Detroit, he almost won.
That's
at
right.
the Rocket Mortgage, and that's a course that really doesn't fit him. So for him
No,
to
he
do
hits it
that,
too
his
far.
game's in pretty good shape. Now Taylor Pendrith is another one, and
Phenomenal.
Ben On, good old Ben On. He's a Twitter guy. That
Hanging
Ben On.
around all these years,
It
beyond.
really has.
Hanging
Beyond
around.
on.
you know.
All right. First question, and I position this first to Brent.
Oh
Does the
gosh,
international team have a shot in hell?
man, I would say that right up until a few days ago, where they pissed Jim Furyk off, and you know, Jim, as everybody knows, is a fiery guy when he wants to be, and I think
Is he?
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
know most people I don't think would know that about Jim. He's
Absolutely.
always kind of
He's-
cool, calm, collected.
It's right underneath the surface. The guy's an absolute killer. And I
nose.
think, I think it's everything he's got going on. It's the thinness to his skin that just, you know, that he's kind of got it peeled back a little bit now.
Like Freddy
from
Krueger
age, but-
face.
He
You
had to
know,
deal a
kind
lot
of.
with his golf swing.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Well, you know, there's, you know, I mean,
comments.
everybody says, you know,
I could just see him pecking
but,
somebody's eye out with his nose.
oh, absolutely, 100%.
Like
like
a
Penguin
pissed
from
off
Batman.
bird.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch
Um,
out for a big nose.
100%.
okay.
A lot going on behind that nose. Anyways, but I look at the two teams, and obviously Hideki and Sungjae and Adam and Tom, great players. But the great thing about the majority of the U.S. team is that there's only one guy on the entire team that is distracted. And when I say distracted, I mean with all of the political talk between the PIF and the board and all of that junk. And fortunately, the rest of the team are all young, hungry guys, and obviously you just can't doubt those top three guys. I mean, Scheffler, Schauffele, and Morikawa just played unbelievable this year. But then again, I mean, you've got Hideki Matsuyama, which he theoretically could take on the entire U.S. team and beat them by himself because
He's
he is the
streaky,
number one
though,
player in
man.
the world.
He's streaky though.
He is.
Tell you
but
what,
it's just,
when his putter is on, he's another guy that he's
it's
a ball
impossible to
striker.
beat him.
Yeah.
Is that good, huh?
Do they
Yeah.
stand a chance? I think I should probably answer that question. I think it's going to be closer than in years past. I don't know the exact total of points that they need, but I'm going to say the international team makes it interesting coming down the last 5 matches on Sunday. Just because they've got some fiery guys on the team, and they may have some momentum from this year and the last President's Cup, you know, making it interesting. So
No bloodbath. You don't think it's going to be a bloodbath?
no, I don't. I don't think, you know, with the way the course is, we're just affecting the camera here. The way the course is set up, it's obviously like you said, right? It's gonna make wedges and controlling spin and all that other stuff really important. And I think the U.S. team and the international team are pretty close where that's concerned. But if the international team can putt, it's gonna be real close, real close.
Played Bethpage?
Well, no, it's
I've not
at
played
Bethpage this year.
Bethpage. No, that's the Ryder Cup
It's
this
at
year. It's
Royal Montreal Golf.
Oh, I'm
Royal
sorry.
Montreal
In Canada.
Yeah.
in Canada. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoopsie.
So
Oh, Canada.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, I don't know. What do you think? I think that the international team
I've been trying so hard. I've been analyzing the shit out of this. Going
Analyzing or analyzing?
Analyzing.
Okay,
So with some beads and so forth, it's been great. You know, you really got to use the proper lubrication.
Some analyzing meditation. I love that. Starting out hot.
Hot. Now, the international team, I sat there and I'm like, man, this is probably the best international team on paper that I have seen. However, all of a sudden you start looking at the U.S. team and you're just like, holy shit, the year Scotty Scheffler had, the year Xander Schauffele had, Colin Morikawa
Brian
was
Harmon.
unreal. Wyndham Clark turned it around at the Olympics. And then you got Patrick Cantlay, who had a really slow year, started to come on at the end. Sahith Theegala is an absolute beast. You've got Keegan Bradley, who still wants to prove that he belongs and that he's going to be the Ryder Cup captain who's going to play, even though the Ryder Cup is
won this year.
We don't want you to. Yeah. And then you got Sam Burns, Sam Burns is a freak. And by the way, he's been working with the short game chef. So the short game chef is now on his staff, and that bodes really well for Sam Burns. Because I was always kind of like, man, what is the one thing with Sam Burns that just there's just something about him that, and Parker McLaughlin brought up a really good point on our interview.
Okay.
He said that, the guys that you can't really tell, it's normally how they're feeling about their short game, not putting per se, but their short game, because it puts more pressure on their actual swing, and you don't realize that. It's something that's not visible, so you try to go after more things, and you put more pressure on hitting perfect shots, where when you can get up and down from anywhere, all of a sudden it frees you up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
shit, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and Parker, Parker and I go way back, also from Hawaii. I mean, what Parker has done, he put in, a year's worth of studying and experimenting. And, I worked with him for a little while, and it takes a certain type of person to implement Parker's stuff. Do I think that he's done great things with the world of golf? Absolutely. But, for a guy like Sam Burns, having a structured fit to what he's doing with his short game can only be a good thing. The only thing I would say is that the reason why I have a hard time thinking Sam Burns deserves to be on team is that just really wasn't anywhere to be found over the last few years. And
I
it
agree
seems
with you.
that even at the Ryder Cup, I thought that there were other guys that deserved to be on the team. And I feel like Scotty and him, because they're best friends, Scotty has some pull.
Little politic in there.
Yeah, well, and rightfully so. Scotty's a phenomenal guy, but it's tough to say that, and I don't know who would replace Sam Burns, but certainly in the Ryder Cup, I guess a year ago now, I wouldn't say that he deserved to be on the team as much as Keegan Bradley or Lucas Glover, but we'll see what happens. Obviously,
I'm with you, and I don't think Sam Burns has really played that great in these formats outside of the World Golf Championship match that he went head-to-head with Scotty Scheffler, right? So that's the only one that I really recall of him playing really well in match play, and he just had it absolutely dialed in that week. Now, Tony Finau, I look at Tony and I'm like, man, Tony hasn't had the best of years, but he's still Tony Finau.
He's Finau. Yeah.
It's tough. Tony's phenomenal. He's just an athlete, and there's no better example of what raw ability can do. And he's incredible. Not to mention he's a great guy anyways. He's it. I mean, it's tough to beat Tony in any situation where he feels like his back is against the wall. So
agreed. Sorry for cutting you off there. Russell Henley. I love seeing him be a part of this.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Such a good ball striker as well.
But putting, I mean, his putting and short game is a joke. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, if there was a guy where I'd be like, yeah, all we need to do is put that guy in position and he's going to succeed, Russell Henley's probably up there in the top 2 or top 3 of that conversation for sure.
Would you say Russell Henley is one of the more underrated players out there?
Without a doubt. You look at how he's won his tournaments throughout his career. and you just see that you see a guy that struggles in times, but is able to, that when he puts it together, like we always talk about, oh, well, if this guy can do this, he'll win by 1,000,000. Well, Russell Henley literally does that. When he puts it together, he wins by a bunch. And so, that doesn't mean that he's the most talented, the most, able golfer in the world, but when he puts it together, he's absolutely dangerous. And I think that him being on the team with the way he played this year is, especially in the last couple of years, is absolutely a good pick.
Love that. Now, the two weaknesses, in my opinion, the only two really on the team is Brian Harman and Max Homa, just because they have not played well this year.
What has Harman done this year?
So Brian,
this year,
Brian's a dangerous guy. So we'll get to Homa in a minute, because obviously him being a Phoenix guy, there are some things that I know that are going on in his game that are pretty glaring. But I think what's amazing is a guy that is actually left off this list is Justin Thomas. And what's interesting is it shows like the view of Jim Furyk and his co-captains with where he's trying to go with it. And I think what makes Brian and Max different is Brian saw an enormous amount of success last year.
Yeah.
And for a guy like Brian in his mid to late 30s, a guy that hits it nowhere but is an absolute grinder, might be the guy that you sit there and go, I want that guy on my team, because no matter what, I know he's going to show up. The problem with Homa is, and I love Max, and he knows I love him. We're both Dodgers fans. But the problem is where he's sort of been stumbling is a place that is tough to come back from unless you put in a crap load of work. And his problems with putting are you can kind of see him with like the posture thing that he's doing. And I did the same thing last year, and it took many months for me to be able to figure it out. And obviously he's in a much better position in his career than I am. But the problem is it goes one of two ways with Homa, and the rest of the squad isn't like that, aside from maybe Burns and Cantlay. But it either goes really well for Homa or it doesn't. And the fact that, for example, Jordan Spieth isn't on this list, Justin Thomas isn't on the list. Like there are guys that he's played with in the past that aren't on this list, and it's a team dynamic that I think Homa, Harman, and Burns may ultimately have an issue with. Maybe it goes great, maybe it doesn't, but I think that's probably where the U.S. team may falter. If those guys play great, it's going to be a bloodbath. If they don't, it won't.
There you have it, the weakest links.
Yeah, that's
right
you're
there.
saying that's the weakest links. There's no in between with those guys.
No,
I'm
absolutely
in full agreement with that. What do you think, Butsy?
I have to agree. I mean,
Yeah, from the peanut gallery, Butsy, what do you think?
I love peanuts, first of all. But yeah, you guys have laid it out here. I mean, how could I disagree with that?
But you know the Phoenix guys. I mean, what have you heard from any whispers as far as what these guys are working on?
No, I have not a single. I mean, I would imagine they're working on what they fucking suck at, right? Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
You would hope, right?
If you're a terrible putter, you don't go out and hit driver on the range every day. Like,
do you guys think that the international team, because the majority of them, have kind of been honed by well, yes, obviously that's a huge deal. The talent pool in Korea is ridiculous, but these guys you read the talent code and it's pretty easy to figure out. But the bottom line is a lot of these guys are kind of on the outside looking in as far as the PGA Tour is concerned. And they're afterthoughts, and they're not covered by the media, and they go into Europe and Asia, and they play very, very well, and they play well in the US as well, also. So there's a sense that there's just a little bit more animosity and a little bit more hunger going on now than there has been in the past.
okay.
I got nervous there for a second there, Brent. I thought the PGA Tour was sending some police.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, they're about to whack you.
Butsy knows what I have in my house. They can bring it.
Come on, motherfuckers.
Bring everything.
First and last podcast.
It was a hell of a run. Hell of a run, Brent.
It was great. Great 30 minutes. Great job. And we're gone. Yeah.
Finch him,
but no, I
the
think
wall like Wilson.
Absolutely right. No, I think Matt, I think you're spot on. I think at the end of the day, this needs to be an entertaining thing, and the problem is it's the PGA Tour media that's going to be covering it.
Oh, it's
And
so bad. Don't even get me
it's
started, Brent.
oh,
Don't even
dude,
get me
I'm gonna get you
started.
started. I'm gonna
Oh,
get you started because I got
between
a little insight for you.
between
The
player promotions, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it's so bad.
it's horrible. Did you know that they have an entire group of people, a dozen or so people that are dedicated to player sponsorship opportunities, and you don't really see players getting those
No,
opportunities unless they're in the top, certain number of people.
which
There's
is
a lot of
which
guys that are pretty good, right?
which is
Yeah.
why YouTube Golf is doing so well right now because personalities matter. It's not just the top guys. Like good personalities that are on tour that might be 150th are good marketing opportunities
Yeah.
and good
Yep.
people to be sponsored or be an ambassador for a brand.
And 100 times better than any YouTube golfer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's the
yeah.
advantage. And
Hey,
it's just like PGA Tour is kind of stuffing everybody to the side and just trying to
yep.
push only the top guys. And the one that I always go back to is the UFC. UFC does such a phenomenal job with promoting new talent and guys with personalities.
The
That's what they
best.
tell them. They're like, hey, you
The
got to
best.
have a personality. You got to do some self promotion, but you will get
Mm-hmm.
a push if you do that.
Why do you think that is?
Yep.
I mean,
Why,
everybody's
why
Why
saying
the
the same
UFC does
thing.
it, or
No, why the PGA Tour sucks at it? Is it
Because they
just
got a
that
bunch of
archaic?
nerds.
Like, is it that old?
so
Like, does it
so
have
what
any
it
old
what it comes.
heads?
Well, no. So what it comes. It's actually way, like not even in that realm. It has nothing to do with the PGA Tour's personality and the corporate structure at all. It's the fact that they're trying to follow what Fincham, Phil, and Tiger did. And the issue is that the decisions that they are making don't affect them, right? They don't affect the corporate structure. They could make the worst product on the planet, and until SSG really steps in hard and says, "Okay, and you're gone," um, nothing's going to change. And here's a little bit of an insider thing. You'll never guess what Jay and Mrs. Baldwin and her husband, what organization they all came from. You'll never guess. Fenway Sports.
Disney?
They
No
all came
kidding.
from
They
Fenway
came from
Sports.
Fenway?
Yep. So
Interesting.
all of them all worked for SSG at one point or another. So there's not a group in the corporate structure that says, "Oh, we just lost X percentage of viewership. What are we going to do about that?" They just say, "Oops, sorry," and make the FedEx Cup 75 instead of 100 or 125. And then you get the Tour Championship, which Scotty said it perfectly, is like, this is not a season-long event. This is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing that these 30 guys are competing, and they have to drum up some YouTube support just to get people to watch, because otherwise everybody goes, "Oh, Scotty's got a multi-shot lead. It's over." And look what
It's
happened.
so funny that you mentioned that because you put it in a way that I really haven't thought about before. I just kind of have seen the PG Tours media group and I'm like, they're a bunch of nerds. But you put it in great context around the fact that they're corporate.
Mhm.
And you're right. Like, that's why I kind of look at them in that manner to where they're like a corporate marketing team.
Yeah.
Like dicking off during the day. And then all of a sudden they show up to an event. They shoot
With
a
a
couple little
shitload of
reels.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a ton of money. They have a ton of the platform itself that they could really be promoting a lot of people and really making the product that much stronger because then all of a sudden when somebody wins who you're not familiar with, but everybody who follows golf closely is like, this was only a matter of time. Then you actually have a fan base around them. And you're like, oh, you lift them up on that pedestal even further.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen at all. I mean,
No.
could you imagine? They did not promote Wyndham Clark at all, even with his story and everything, until after he won. And even after he won for like a couple of weeks, like we trained with the same trainer, and it was just like nothing.
Phenomenal
There,
guy.
there was
by the way.
crickets.
Wyndham's great. Well,
Yeah.
but Matt, I think I mean, at the end of the day, what it all kind of comes down to is is the PGA Tour believes that they can still have the Tiger model and get along, and they're not too big to fail, not even remotely. But I mean, look at Scotty Scheffler, right? You wouldn't know Scotty Scheffler even existed if if he wasn't winning the way he was winning. And the reason why he kind of goes about it very quietly is because he doesn't really get into anything with regards to the politics or anything like that. He says, I'm a man of God. I'm doing this for him, and that's it. And that's great. It's phenomenal. But what else is there? There's nothing else. The fact that Colin Morikawa essentially snuck under the radar and, for all intents and purposes, won the Tour Championship, aside from the false lead that Scotty had, that doesn't mean Scotty didn't play great, but Colin dominated.
Yeah.
And you would never even know. Like, I play golf for a living. I thought Colin Morikawa didn't play well at all this entire year. I didn't even know what he was doing.
See, and I was following it super close, and like I'm watching him, I'm just like, he's in form right now, and this kid is a stud when he's in form. And
he's so
he started, he got a little tired towards like the BMW. He was tired, and he lost a little bit of his form. I think a week or two prior. And all of a sudden he's on the range working on stuff, and the PGA Tour finally, like on social media, put a clip of him being like, oh, first guy on the driving range. It's just like, come on. Like, that is not that promotion that you should really be putting behind somebody like a Colin Morikawa, who is an absolute stud. I mean, coming out of college and winning the PGA Championship up in San Fran, I mean, come on. Like, you really need to push. And just don't wait until he's playing in Hawaii, which, it was funny. I was on with Parker, and we were talking about guys from Hawaii, and I'm like, oh yeah, like Colin Morikawa. He's like, no, he's from LA. And I'm like, oh shit, you're right. But the PGA Tour pushed so hard to try to push that narrative that it made me think that he's from La Cañada, Flint.
Is the viewership down though? Like year over year?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It
has
to be,
by
right?
a lot.
So at some point, somebody's going to have to do something about that. Like, they can't just keep doing it the way they're doing it.
So
money will be affected.
Just to kind of, lay it flat from my perspective. I had a guy come up to me last week and say, he showed up early on Sunday morning, and I was like, what are you doing here? He had his whole crew out there, cameras and whatever. I was like, the important people don't tee off for another 5 hours. He's like, well, you're important. I go, no, I'm not. I go, to who? He goes, our algorithm. And that didn't really strike me at the time until I kind of looked in, until I, was getting ready for this podcast. And it was something that I didn't want to touch on as if I'm important, because I really don't think I am. But it's interesting that he said our algorithm. I haven't done anything in forever. And they used my deck, that double fist bump, lion roar that I put out 2 years ago. They used that video for an entire year. And it's interesting that the Korn Ferry Tour knows, this guy who's essentially a contractor knows what's important to the algorithm. But when it comes to the PGA Tour, they're going to do whatever they want to do. And the thing is it's whoever is hot at the moment. And they can't have enough of those guys be hot all at the same time.
No.
Because it doesn't work that way. We can't all shoot 64, right? So if you had an actual legitimate wide net and be like, okay, what's going on in this guy's life and that guy's life, and what's going on behind the scenes, and let's make it a little less PC so these guys can actually build their own brands like they tell us to at orientation, by the way, and they have a dozen or so people to help us out with that, although I never got a phone call. They... it's I'm good for the algorithm, but apparently, not for the PGA Tour. So it's they don't even go remotely into the things that they need to go into. And that's why, like, the next swing or whatever the hell thing Netflix was doing,
full swing,
full swing, like, everybody got to a point where they were like, oh, it's cool. Joel Damon is like this super cool guy. And then, like, you dive into Joel and you're just kind of like, yeah, he just kind of cruises around and kind of a bullshitter and kind of talk some shit every now and then, and that's kind of it. And next, like, it's
But
it's
like you
horseshit.
just said,
And so,
none of that transferred over either. They didn't pick that
No.
up. The tour didn't pick that up where all these storylines were created and like, let's check in now. They already did all this fucking work for us. Like, let's check in on these guys now, and it just died.
Yeah.
All that
died.
personality and all that shit died. But like I said, that's fine. And maybe we can't come up with a why, but this is not going to last forever. They're going to have to make a change.
It is if
That's
you
why
keep
I asked
getting billions of dollars.
well, the sponsors aren't going to pay that much money if they're not getting their money's worth. So at some point, somebody's going to have to sit down in a boardroom and go, "Okay, we need to. Other people are smoking us in this sector. We need to
Totally
make some
agree.
changes."
YouTube is smoking us in this section. Like, how
That's
ridiculous is that?
crazy, and that's still
Grant,
really
what's that guy's name? Grant.
Horvath.
yeah. We're
Horvat,
talking about
so-
him right now, right? Look, so
I mean, exactly. He gets paid like $250,000 a post or whatever it is, like some ridiculous number. And it's like I've got to go and basically panhandle my way through cigar rooms and pro-ams to be like, oh, 10 grand, please. Oh. Like, it's ridiculous. Like Butsy and I put up a video and it's like, holy shit, that was awesome. Let's keep doing that. I would rather do that than do what I've done for the last 6 or 7 years. Like, it's that ridiculous.
Well, there's going to be that potential because we're moving in that direction too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the success on YouTube, and it's not. We're just like, there's nothing like our content on YouTube on the golf course right now. It's all this like funny, haha, like, oh, we're good. We're
I've
Grant
called it.
Horvath,
I've
like,
called it the
it's
same
all
thing
PC.
for years now. Yeah, it's like watching Nickelodeon of golf.
Yeah,
It's this.
we're
it's
gonna bring the real stuff.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a- it's a-
so
if
I've
you wanna
got
children's
join
book.
in
go
on
ahead.
that,
Go ahead.
You wanna join
I've
in
got
on
good
that.
buddies of mine. I've got good buddies of mine that are really good Corn Ferry Tour play. What are we getting a little disorganized over there, Butsy?
no.
Little sugar
no.
shakes.
Yeah.
But I've got buddies of mine that are great personalities and phenomenal people, and they're great players, but can't crack an egg on YouTube because they decide to kind of get into the PC stuff. And that's something I'll say it first. And by the way, for trot golf, no, I don't get into final stage. I get into second stage. But Butsy and I are gonna kind of start something at some point, and it's gonna be an all-out extravaganza, and we don't
Kyle's
give a
right
damn.
there. Kyle's right there too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've been bringing the real stuff for some time now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's valid.
it's got to be done right, and it's got to be organized, but it cannot be PC. So I think
And it won't be.
there's a way. Yeah.
Ideas
Yeah.
aplenty, we'll put it that way. Little teasers.
Oh, so.
It's coming. It's coming, folks. So just be on the lookout, because when it drops and when we start doing this, it's going to be something. And I mean, this might get posted on Rumble.
I mean, Rumble's
I'm going
kind
for
of a thing.
Patriot all the way.
Ru-
All the way,
you guys
guys.
know what Rumble is? Not.
Not joking.
Yeah, not.
Not joking. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Oh gosh.
But Matt, let's I think what are we on an hour plus here? I feel like I've rambled on too long. I feel like there's some
what time is it?
organization I've screwed up here.
No, you've done pretty damn well. I mean, we got a little sidetracked with the PGA's media side and
Yeah.
promotions, but I mean, we were talking about the U.S. team, the international team. We were trying to really justify the fact of our feelings that we're hoping that the international team is competitive, because I think that's what everybody wants to see. Even if you're rooting for the Team USA, you really want the international team to be competitive. And I think that's going to bring excitement. It's
Yep.
going to bring drama. And that is what the golf course hopefully is also going to bring, because they grew out that rough. I don't know if you have seen, but the rough is nice and juicy. The greens were very firm. However, they are going to get some rain coming up tomorrow, I believe, and also potentially Thursday. So it's going to soften up. So it's going to be driver accuracy, and then guys are going to be hitting wedges. So it's going to be how much can you control your spin of your wedges, and can you drop some putts? And I think that kind of favors the international side a little bit, but we shall see. Let's get into some predictions. So, Brent, let's start with you. New tour insider here with us. Who do you have taken the cup?
Oh man, I said, I think it's going to be the U.S. team.
He's gonna take my answer, though. I know it. Go ahead.
Well, it's fine. We do think alike for a reason, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's fine. Everything's fine. We're in the now right now. But U.S. team captain Jim Furyk, it's hard to think that he won't get those boys fired up. And I think what it's going to end up being is they're probably going to take the cup somewhere around midway through Sunday with 5 or 6 matches left. And the only way that doesn't happen again is if those bottom 6, 7, 8 players for the I almost said European team, the international team, decides that they're gonna kind of get their asses in gear and get it done. As long as Jason Day doesn't distract everybody with his Malbon golf wearing attire. So
I don't think is he gonna have international Malbon?
I hope not.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Normally they get it provided, so I don't think so.
Hopefully not by then.
That's a good point. Butsy, who do you got?
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
Roseanne.
You're being so polite.
Am I allowed to talk?
You got your hands crossed.
It's because he's not hammered.
Well, I'm actually just going to be honest with you guys. I've been sitting over here just nursing one hell of a stomach ache for about 20 minutes now. And I've been back and forth, really not hearing much of what you guys said, and contemplating whether or not it's appropriate to get up. And should I have to pee? But if I go pee, is this going to turn into what I think it might turn into? So I'm just getting on just a little insight. That's what I've been doing for the last half hour. Is just really having an internal battle here.
Literally, like
I
physically
feel better.
and mentally.
Yeah.
I've been. That's why I keep looking at the screens. I'm like, oh my god, my cheeks went from beet red, blood pressure through the roof,
To white and pale.
to I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Well, I've been just like, and just breathing really slowly. I think our top guys are going to get it done, and I think the rest of the team is going to shit the bed, and it's going to be a lot closer than you guys think.
I hope so.
We may lose. Yeah.
No.
So, wow.
I'll put $20. Says we win.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm in between both of you right now. I'm going to say, and that sounded weird, didn't sound right, but I'm in between both of you right now in terms of your picks.
Hell of a big and slim sandwich.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough look over here for me right now, especially with all the P Diddy. Can you believe 1,000 baby oils? 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's unreal.
For what?
What did he do?
For what? For his freak out parties.
Oh, it just.
Oh,
yeah. That's low. That's
he
low.
got raided by the FBI. He is the hip hop music world's Epstein.
Yeah. I just heard a little side thing. He's refusing to eat in jail because he thinks that he may be poisoned.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, it's probably not wrong.
So, anyways, getting back to my pick, I'm gonna say that it's a close. It's gonna come down to the final 2 matches. And the reason why is because I think Homa's going to be a liability. I think Brian Harman's going to be a liability. And I actually like what you were saying, Brent, with the fact that Sam Burns could potentially be a liability too. So with that, I am going to say that U.S. wins by 2 points.
So you got it close, but still clinching the dub.
Yeah.
Even if those guys fall
just
off.
because of how strong that U.S. team is. But I want the drama. I want there to actually be something for next week that we can sit here and be like, holy shit, did you see Siwoo Kim yelling out, I player chant, bro, shushing the crowd? Like, that would be great. We want to see
when
it.
he fucking shushed the crowd, like he almost picked his nose. He did it so hard.
What do you think he's going to do in Canada? You think he's going to shush him?
I think
I get what you're trying to
these
do.
Guys, I think these guys will literally walk out with one massive South Korean flag. All of these guys. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Korean players. Unless you could take out Minwoo Lee because technically.
They should.
Well, Minwoo technically is though. because the whole
heritage-wise,
reason
yeah.
they sent him over to Australia. That whole story is wild. Just so that
They
he
do it a
wouldn't
lot,
have to
though.
do the mandatory military service.
Yep.
Which
They
is
should
fun.
Yeah,
all
they knew.
They
Yeah.
should all roll up to the driving range on those little, like, motorized bicycles with the baskets on them, like everybody
Absolutely.
rides over there. Like they should all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Wicked Witch of the West.
It's like three guys
Absolutely.
on the
I think
back.
Matt, I think you might have something there. I think these guys know that there's nothing to lose and they can just play their hearts out. They've probably been preparing on that golf course all year. And Mike knows what he's doing, man. He's a great guy and a great champion. So
What's the odds? Do we know the odds?
No,
Oh,
no
God.
odds for this one. Yeah, no.
No, like total, like U.S. versus that. Like
I didn't look it up. I know
technically,
you're angry with me.
that's one of the things that we could talk about this next week, maybe. But the betting in golf and the PGA Tour's relationship with some of these organizations and how that
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
breaks down.
let's say
Little
let's put
teaser
that in a
alert.
sack
Yeah,
and
that-
save it.
that's
Yeah.
going to be a nice little
Yeah.
segment for next week.
Yeah.
Very
But,
good.
yeah.
Did you just say let's put that into a nice little sandwich and save it for next
I
week?
said let's put it in a sack.
Oh, in a sack.
Let's
okay.
save it. A sandwich.
In the sack.
damn, I'm
I don't know
I'm
why
fucking
when
hungry.
you said a word
My
with that.
God.
I
Oh,
thought you said sandwich.
He's hungry
Talking
though.
about, are you
The
talking
buffalo's
about food
hungry.
again, man? Oh man, I figured. Thought you'd probably said sandwich. Just profiling.
Need some of those keto chicken fingers again, Butsy.
oh shit! I just
Oh,
got
man.
profiled by my podcast partner. God damn.
How's it feel?
I liked it.
Yeah.
You're not fucking wrong. Let's be honest.
Well,
I
2 weeks,
apologize.
2 weeks ago, he called himself a whale without calling himself a whale. So,
Tonight he referred to. He had the whole. He was doing the noises.
blowhole.
The blowhole.
that's right. The Titanic, the
blow
Titanic,
the
he would
mic?
survive
Yeah.
the Titanic. Yeah, my eardrum
All-
just blew
all-
out.
Yeah, mine too.
We won't do
Yeah,
it. again.
don't do it again.
Sorry.
And that concludes it, folks. I mean, once again, we got to end on a great note, which is Butsy's whale noises when he does the blowhole noise. So, yeah. Oh wow, that was pretty good. Oh my god, I thought there was a real whale in the room.
Right?
Fucking crazy.
Do you imagine we should recreate that
Oh,
Free Willy scene where
shit.
you're like out on the dock and I jump over the
That'll be our first YouTube special,
Oh,
right there.
man.
jump over the rock bridge back into the
Absolutely.
real ocean to be with my family.
Fantastic.
Right over that dinosaur line on Troon. The rock right in the middle of that par 5.
Oh,
Just,
it's a good hole.
Well,
We
we're
love
gonna
that
have to
hole.
break some bread and get out there and play some golf next time you're out here, Brent.
absolutely.
So,
I'm in.
that being said, folks, Brent, great first show for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely great show. You fit in like a glove.
Well, it's just, I wake up and I just piss excellence and nobody can touch my stuff. So here we are.
That's valid. I see it firsthand. It
Kinda
was
is.
phenomenal.
His
I actually loved
reputation
it.
precedes him. He is the Ricky
Yeah, I
Bobby.
mean, shit. I played golf with Butsy. I think the day after Brent was playing up at Chaparral Pines.
yeah.
And
there you go.
sure enough, Butsy couldn't talk enough about you. So
Yeah, here we are. Anytime,
every-
anywhere, I'm there. Let's do it.
love that.
Very
So
good.
let's wrap this one up, folks. Once again, we got the President's Cup. That is the main event this week, in case you didn't know, because it's not promoted that heavily. So we're going to let you know, and it's going to be a great one. Hopefully the international team with the strongest roster that they've possibly had could potentially upset the United States of America, but I doubt it. I am hopeful for a drama-filled matchup there. And without further ado, we do want to give a final shout out to our sponsor, Swannies Golf. Once again, folks, utilize promo code PoleHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order at Swannies.co. It's a great deal, great company, great clothes. Go ahead and get yourself some. And until next time, folks, peace out, everybody. Now,
Adios.
Brent, you hang on for me, but everybody else, peace out.
Bye, yo.
See ya. Hang on.
Later, boys.